our next panel discussion, which is a continuation of the same set of questions, which is what I had in the beginning, which was posed to the earlier panelists. So this is now a public sector response. So the first one was the response from the states and the departments, including the central government. So here we have Dr. T. Prabhashankar. He's Executive Director, Chennai Metropolitan Water Supply and Sewerage Board. We are also joined by Mr. Harendra Prasad. He's Executive Officer, Andhra Pradesh Center for Financial Systems and Services. We have with us Mr. Sachin Rana, who is Mission Director, Chandigarh Skill Development Mission, and Mr. V.G. Venkat Reddy, Director of Mines and Geology, Department of Mines and Geology from Andhra Pradesh, and Mr. Sajid Memon, Secretary, State Hajj Committee from Chhattisgarh. My questions remain the same, which are as follows: the key challenges, the solution, as well as the impetus given to digitalization post-COVID. So my first speaker, you have 3 minutes. All of you will have 3 minutes, so kindly stick to your time limits so that we stay on time, although we are almost like 10-15 minutes behind schedule, which we don't mind because we are learning so much from you. Dr. T. Prabhashankar.
Good morning, everyone out there. So it's been a wonderful morning. I've been part of the previous panel. I've been listening to the panelists. So it was really wonderful session. And just to correct, my name is Prabhu Shankar. I thought that was quite obvious, not Prabhashankar.
My apologies.
I'm an IS officer. I'm the Executive Director of Chennai Metropolitan Water Supply Sewerage Board. So like most water utilities, Chennai is actually, it's quite it receives a bad press, especially for the frequent droughts we get. And we get the most difficult job of ensuring water supply to around 8 million people in Chennai city. And last year, you would remember that we faced the worst drought in a century. And but then we did endure and ensure that the citizens were well taken care of. So COVID again has been has had a very profound impact on the Chennai Metro Water in a number of ways, especially for an Indian city, a typical Indian city, where operations are more or less more manual and less digitalized. On multiple fronts, so the major challenges we had to face was to ensure an uninterrupted service delivery right throughout the pandemic. So like most parts of the country, we had 100 days of complete lockdown, and we had to put a lot of workforce right in the line of fire. So the major challenges which we faced was to work in spite of the raging pandemic, and Chennai is among the metropolitan cities which was very affected very much. We have a very huge caseload. And the major problem here is, in spite of having a pipeline for the city was, let me get the background here. The city was expanded in 2011 from 176 square kilometer to 426 square kilometer, 2.5 times the original. So a lot of city still does not have an access to a pipeline. So for the 10 years, we've been adding areas to the distribution network. And so much of the city still depends on water tankers. So that's a huge challenge, especially in a COVID scenario, where you have people queuing up for the water tankers in a metropolitan city. And we also operate a paid service where people can book a water tanker and get water to their houses. So this was a very key challenge. And the second part of the challenge was made to the projects. So we have projects, a huge number of projects ongoing. In fact, you might be aware, Chennai is the only city which has 2 desalination plants. And in fact, we have very ambitious plans of having to add 2 more plants, a 150 MLD plant and a 400 MLD. So in 5 years from now, Chennai will have 750 MLD of installed capacity. We also are pioneers in wastewater reuse. So where we reuse around 120 MLD of wastewater and supply to the industries. So technologically, Chennai Metro Water has always been a sort of a flag bearer in terms of water supply and sewerage management. This COVID's impact, if we could really say, it has had a huge impact, not just on these fronts in the HR management, but it also had a financial impact. So on the digital front, which is the theme of the session, I would say certainly like any other PSU or any other government organization, we have had a lot of digitalization, but the more pressing reforms have taken place in terms of water supply, which is again an aspect of digitization. In fact, one of the entries which we have, the Dial for Water 2.0, is a very unique and a very hassle-free service for the consumers, wherein they can book the water supply online. Added to that, we have had a lot of interventions which were taken right in the midst of the drought. Let's say this pandemic has literally ensured that we are migrating to a ERP. So the decision was taken right in the middle of the pandemic. We do have an age-old ERP which was based on the Oracle platform. But then, given the challenges which the pandemic placed on the board, we are really migrating to an open source platform, and the decision was taken right in the middle of the pandemic. And an e-governance platform with multiple modules is right on the cards. And thirdly, there's been an emphasis on the GIS application to be incorporated on a larger scale, because that is one big area where we needed to invest. And this decision, in fact, the COVID pandemic, though these decisions were sort of under consideration and under contemplation for a long time, the COVID pandemic acted as a catalyst, and we ensured we took the call right through the pandemic. But otherwise, on the technical aspect, I would just like to inform the elite panel that Chennai was the first city to isolate the COVID RNA in sewage. So right across the world, there have been attempts, there have been studies to see the correlation of COVID in sewage as a surveillance tool. So Chennai has been doing some pioneering work in response to COVID, wherein we are using, we are studying the presence of COVID RNA in the sewage to sort of foresee the presence. So an area, let's say, to put it very simply, let's say an area is not having any COVID cases. Literature says that 3 days before you actually get a COVID case, you can trace COVID RNA in the sewage. So we have sort of perfected that in Chennai to a larger extent, and we are among the elite league of international utilities which have done that. So that is something, a matter of proud achievement, which I would like to tell the panel. Otherwise, we have certainly made a lot of push towards the digitalization of our entire ecosystem, and COVID has been a sort of a game changer in that regard. Thank you. Right. So now that I think I've been left to speak more, maybe I just take that. So
I'll come back to you.
Yeah,
sir.
sure.
Let me, in the meanwhile, invite our next speaker, which is Mr. Harendra Prasad, Chief Executive Officer from Andhra Pradesh Center for Financial Systems and Services.
Good morning, everyone. Firstly, thanks for giving us this opportunity. So I hope I am audible.
Yes, you are.
Yeah, so it's a privilege to be part of this panel. What I would like to bring to the panel is that what we are as an organization doing to handle this COVID. So not many would have spoken what finance department across the states are doing. As you all know, all field COVID warriors need the biggest tonic M, the money. It should reach in time to all the public sector organizations or the departments and the officials who are working in the field. Unless they make the payments at the right time, they will not be able to deliver the services they are supposed to deliver. Correct. In the case of Andhra Pradesh, we have Commissioner Health, who is spending a lot of money, incurring a lot of expenditure at the state level, and we have at the district level, district medical and health officers, and we have the district collectors, who in turn spend on migrants, taking care of their welfare, ensuring that COVID care centers are in place, ensuring that medicines are procured at the right time. And even during COVID, when employees are working from home, we need to ensure that all the bills are honored, all the bills are submitted on time and audited on time. So what AP CFSS has done is, AP CFSS has put in place a public finance management system, what we call the comprehensive financial management system, through which at all levels we make the funds available. So let's say if a DMHO wants to submit bills related to medicines procured, they can simply log into the system, create vendors to whom they want to make the payment, and then submit the bills, which is audited, and then subsequently the bills are honored by direct integration with eCubear platform of RBI. So this in a way has done away with manual intervention anywhere, and anybody sitting anywhere can do this. There is no need for physical files. There is no need for presence in office. And also at the same time, they can tap multiple funds. For example, the government of India has authorized all district collectors to tap the district mineral fund. So the district mineral fund is made available to the district collectors, through which they can tap the money in that fund and then ensure that all the required expenditure is met. Same is the case with state disaster relief fund. State disaster relief fund is made available to all the DMHOs and the Commissioner of Health. They are using those funds to ensure that medical services are provided at the right place at the right time to the most deserving. So in a way, we are facilitating the money transfer to the beneficiaries. In this case, the patients also at times, to the vendors who are supplying the medical equipment, and also to the companies which are supplying the medicines and drugs. At the same time, all of them are audited, so there are no allegations regarding mismanagement of money anywhere. And also you might be seeing the revenue across the states are coming down. We have a single source of truth where we can see how much is the cash balance at any given point in time, how much is my committed expenditure at any given point in time. So we have provided a unique dashboard to the principal finance secretary and the secretary budget, with which they can do day-to-day cash handling and ensure that the priorities are met. The medical and health emergency which everybody is facing is met. At the same time, the committed expenditure related to salaries, everything is met. So this is one thing which we are facilitating. And to address future challenges with respect to HR and works, we are coming up with a solution. I think one such solution is already a part of the final set of projects which are listed. I once again thank the sports team for giving us this opportunity. We will definitely catch up in a bigger forum where we will have time to express more. Thank you.
Yeah, it's very interesting. I just quickly want to ask you, you have integrated all the modules of your functioning onto a technology platform. So what solution are you using?
Yeah, we are using SAP HANA, SAP S4 HANA, which is the ERP which we are using. And SAP is our technology partner, and they have been helping us in the solutioning.
All right, great. Thank you so much. That brings me to Mr. Sachin Rana, Mission Director, Chandigarh Skill Development Mission.
Hi, good morning, everyone.
Good morning.
First of all, thank you for having me on this panel discussion with so many intellectually high people available there. Beside Mission Director, I am also the Additional Deputy Commissioner for Chandigarh, and I have been in the executing part of all the policies since we are discussing since morning. Professor Trivedi spoke so high of Indian Administrative Service. I would like to thank him formally on this portal. He worked pretty hard and is still working each day. Yesterday also we had a meeting before this Unlockdown 3.0. All the formalities have been practiced into the system, but regarding this panel discussion, when we saw brought about this challenge of COVID, how to react or respond, the systems were to be devised. Systems were not readily available. Systems were there. Some of the investment the government in the previous time or the administration has done regarding the DBT or otherwise, but I'm speaking from the perspective of Pradhan Mantri Kaushal Vikas Yojana, the Mission Director for Chandigarh. In that view, the system was not pretty hard or pretty well available. We were more emphasizing on the students to come to the particular training center, and they have to undergo so many different. There should be a man-to-man discussion. The teacher and the student ratio should be monitored. They should really have hands-on experience. So suddenly, when the situation in the end of March came, we were running the course. We were about to finish this session of courses, the final leg of the courses, so as to achieve the 100% target of Kaushal Vikas Yojana. So system has to be devised in. So my team devised few system we interacted with the training partner, both private and government, and we came up with few systems like Zoom is one of them, and then other Google Classroom, and then WhatsApp app, then video recording, audio chatting, and so many things we came up. And finally, each student has some kind of a satisfaction level with some system. So that particular institution and that particular system have come up with a one particular system which is being used as of now. The teachers were trained on those systems. Incidentally, they were not very, it was a new system for everyone. Then mobile accessibility to all the students, because in PMKY we are looking at the student who comes from the lower strata of the society. So the mobile accessibility was not there. The network was not there. Network, they cannot afford such kind of a network that was there. So things were roped in. A few collaboration have been done in which the network prices, network was kind of sponsored for them so that they can attend classes online. Grouping of a student with proper mask and all in the neighborhood society, because people are not from that rich background there. So kind of people joined in and they watched the video, they interacted with the faculty. On almost a weekly basis, we took the review from the students and the faculty on day-to-day basis. My team was very active in that. They were working from offices and from the home also. And it was kind of a more work in this COVID era. So the responses were taken up, the plug points, the loopholes were plugged in immediately so that all the things could be done properly. Primarily, solution came from the ICT-based solution. Media, social media came very effective. We interacted with the local newspaper, and so that we can tell them about all these things. In Chandigarh, we have a war room meeting in which the governor of Punjab and administrator of UT Chandigarh takes a daily review meeting. So we kind of use that platform to, because that is kind of a media covered that every time. So I requested them to give us some time so that we can showcase what the work we are doing, so that if any student is somehow not is being informed about so and so things, so he can be connected to that. We similarly migrated this, beside PMKEY, we migrated the similar situation, similar teaching practices to the regular long-term students in the ITIs and Polytechnic. So they were also kind of roped in. Their exams were conducted more or less on the ICT-based platform. Digitization is the only one of the main, I will say, one of the main tool in which we can have this spectrum shift from this end to this end, in which the people can be facilitated in this kind of a corona times. And the focus should be on more on digitization. Social media and other platforms like Zoom and everything should be used more. Google has created so many things. The scope of work has changed a little bit because initially it was from human to human interaction was more, but now it's a virtual human interaction. And as we move along, necessity is the mother of invention.
So much of work that you have done, I can see the passion, you know. So we actually need one more session to understand, although you already made a presentation and we understood quite a lot from whatever achievements have been there. So we would love to engage and try and understand more from your experiences, and how is it that it can help replicate it across the country. So thank you so much for sharing your experiences with us. With this, I invite Mr. V.G. Venkat Reddy, Director of Mines and Geology from Andhra Pradesh. Mr. Venkat, are you there? You have to unmute yourself.
Yeah, good afternoon, everybody. Thank you very much for giving this opportunity to participate in this debate or discussions. There's a lack of time, only 3 minutes you are given. That I'm telling what are the challenges you have faced in the mineral divisions and all these things due to COVID and all these things. There is a lot of disruption in the supply chain management, that is transportation of minerals and labors and technicals and all these things. So thereafter, we have due to that they have shut down the so many leases and industry, these mineral-based industries and all these things. So that due to COVID, that we could not transportation of this all the minerals during that period, which you have already given the permission for them. So, but what is the solutions? 18th April, we have given a Government of India given a guidelines for resumption of these operations in the mineral-based industries, and government has given certain relief to the mineral-based packages and all these things. The government of India to restart these industries, and there is so many release of pending incentives of 905 crores have they given, waiver of fixed deposits and demand charges to MDM, MSMEs, and the grant of loans liquidities for 2 to 10 lakhs they are given government of Andhra Pradesh. And the preferential market only that minerals are to purchased by the government of India, government of Andhra Pradesh, and all these things that also been given a provision. Deferment of fixed deposits and charges at least for 3 months moratorium has given. So actually now due to this COVID scenario, we have given all the online application systems and all these things, from grants, leases of grants, and the e-permit system and all these things. That was more helpful for the government of Andhra Pradesh to uninterrupted supply of all the minerals and mineral-based industries and all these things. And due to digitalization, we have we have able to perform at least now we have to recoup with the system. And dashboard also you are maintaining for the mineral administrations, and video conferencing, conducting video conference with our local administration and DDs and ADs and all these things, and what is happening in the field we are come to know that, and what is the action course of action has to be done to the optimal utilization of optimal operation of the mineral based leases and all these things. Online filing is
I think this is a very, very difficult field, and trying to maintain the momentum,
yes sir,
must have been very, very difficult. We can understand from your talk.
yeah.
And the kind of difficulties the state would have faced in keeping the engine running, particularly at the coal, the area that you look after.
Yes sir.
So a Herculean task, and my congratulations to you for having to overcome mines and geology kind of a thing, which is very, very specialized.
Yes.
Very good. I mean, my congratulations once again. I mean,
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you very much.
I don't have words to express further.
Yes.
It's a very, very difficult field. So
it is a practical difficulties what we have due to this manpower and all these things, and it is it involved in this.
Thank you for sharing your story with us.
Sir.
I invite now Mr. Sajid Memon, Secretary, State Hajj Committee from Chhattisgarh.
Thank you, Guru Sharanji. Thank you very much. Since Hajj was cancelled and we were dealing with the 50 plus senior people, so I will stick to your questions, and I'll be in very brief because we are going through a time constraint. You said, yes, it is a challenge. So I will say, if my age is 48, this is the first time that we went through such a lockdown. So it was something like surprise to me even. और रहा अगर आप administration की बात करते हैं, तो it was very difficult for the administration also to how to handle it. So anyhow we managed to tackle it up. अब रहा कि इसका solution क्या है, तो as far as my knowledge goes, the solution is only to herd immunity. What आज के न्यूज़ में था कि 50% of the slum of Mumbai are already immune to that. उनका serum antibodies develop कर चुका है. And what the reports are coming that every fourth people is in Delhi is going through that and has recovered. तो ये fact है जिसे हमें स्वीकार करना है. Another angle is digitalization. हमने कभी सोचा नहीं था कि डिजिटल एंगल जो इतना सारा हम नेगेटिव बात करते थे, अब इतना पॉजिटिव है, and that can be tackled. So there is something new arena which I can see, and very soon we will be coming out of that challenge. Thank you very much.
Well, so that was short and sweet, but yes, you made your point that given these difficult times, we never expected this will happen ever to us. It's one of I'm sure not only unprecedented. We would not like this to be repeated in our lifetime once again. That has put everything upside down, and but the best part is that we perform.
Yeah.
No, that is something which is which brings a whole lot of hope, which is what we've been talking since morning when Mr. Kochhar focused on that there is always hope, and the hope is brought in not by God, but by the people who have been working incessantly, committedly to deliver to the results, which is what we are sitting there for. So that is something, that has changed the entire landscape. So we have heard the response to COVID from two different perspectives, from the central and the state government, and also at the same time from the individual organizations. So gentlemen, thank you very much for joining us on this panel discussion. It's been
Thank you.
really, really great learning from your experiences. But yeah,